Well, happy to welcome back into the program a business attorney, Brian King, with two offices in Augusta as well as Atlanta. And as as we're recording this, we're just about to enter into the fourth quarter. You know, for businesses, tax season is a little different than individuals. Isn't that true?
Yeah, I mean, with there's different business returns that your accountant can file for you and all that, and there's all sorts of tax advantages that you have as a business that you don't have as an individual. And so one of the things that I talk about with my clients is those tax deductions, and sometimes I get calls from clients that says, hey, we got the end of the year coming up. Is there anything that we need to do to try to plan for before we have to file our taxes for next year, for this year, next year, Right. So, and sometimes I'll get questions about, business use of the vehicle and business use of the home office and things like that, which are some of the advantages that you have as a business owner, is being able to write certain things off that you wouldn't be able to write off otherwise. If you're just a individual and you you have to, change your oil in your car, you can't write that off just as an individual, but as a business, if you're using that vehicle for your business, you can write that off.
Or mileage, for instance.
Right. So there's a couple of ways. So you can either write off the mileage at the federal mileage reimbursement rate. You just keep track of your mileage for the whole year, and then you deduct that. Or if let's say your car is 100% used for business or pretty close to it, then you can buy the vehicle in your LLC or corporation, and then write off the entire cost of the vehicle and keep track of your actual expenses, so oil changes and gas and things like that, and write that off. So you either pick the mileage route or the actual expenses route.
Sure.
And
I know your business directly kind of connects with the CPA world, even like in the formation, perhaps. Is that true?
That's right. Yes. I work with a lot of accountants in the area and try to make sure that we're on the same page, and we talk about, because sometimes they'll have more history of the client than I do, and other times maybe I bring the client to the accountant. So,
sure.
So the one of the key aspects in being able to take those deductions that we were talking about is good record keeping. And so, using QuickBooks or a spreadsheet application to keep track of all your expenses and everything. And so you can give that to your accountant, and your accountant can properly report your expenses and revenues to be able to get you the tax advantages that you want and need. And so, I try to work closely with the accountants and try to make sure we're on the same page as far as planning goes, and I can refer clients to accountants if they don't have them, because I've worked with so many good ones. So
I was going to ask you about that. We often get asked about bookkeepers and CPAs, and what's interesting about our area that I find is that there's some major accounting firms that have been here for decades, CPA firms. And then there are folks that have maybe gone out on their own, and they're entrepreneurs, just like me.
Sure.
It seems to be interesting in our area anyhow.
Yeah. And there's good ones at both. There's good ones in the bigger firms, and then there's good ones who started out on their own and, left the bigger firms to do that. And so, and it's interesting because, I can tell within a first, conversation, I try to get to know the accountants, pretty well. And I can kind of tell that they understand we're talking the same language and that sort of thing.
Well, because it's your reputation.
That's right. It's important to me to have, if I refer a client to someone, I want to make sure that that's a good referral, because I don't want it to look bad on me if it doesn't turn out well. So
outstanding. Again, Brian King can help you sort of work your way through the entire process. Startup, it's so important, and also business insurance. Is that right?
Yeah, I can refer to business insurance agents as well. Yes.
Because there's just so many professionals to do things the right way. You want to start and maintain a good relationship, even if you've been in business for several years. So it's good to have a trusted advisor, and I certainly recommend Brian. And you can look at some of his blogs at businessattorneylaw.com, and he's also one of our thought leaders, and that's AugustaBusinessDaily.com. And Brian has a entire subject matter expert page that's dedicated to helping you. So we appreciate all that you do, and happy 20 years in business law.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome. Thanks, Brian.